is up, everybody? Good episode 17 that we are starting with. Christine, you have been out for a bit. Welcome back to the United States. How was it in the other country of Alaska?
The other country. I was like, what? Alaska is beautiful. We did a 7 day cruise, like for the very first time, and I do believe that was a good choice because Alaska was amazing. It also stopped by Canada for a second, and you know this because of our
Yes.
past just talk shows from before that I wasn't allowed to be in there, but I got in there. So if you ever are banned from a country like Canada and you want to somehow sneak in, I guess by cruise or by ocean is best.
Man, and after all that we've done of kicking out people in the U.S., don't you think? In the Canada doesn't really like us these days. Weren't you worried you were going to be deported and put to like a place with alligators all around it or something?
Yeah, I mean they're pretty strict to begin with, and I had no idea, but the situation was like what 2015 or 16 or something, and they were like, if you have any previous, I don't know, anything with the law, they're like, I don't care how long ago it was, we don't allow just anybody in here. But they've always seemed so welcoming to everyone, so it's crazy that they don't practice what they preach because I'm such a nice person and they banned me.
I love it that you referred to it as the incident in 2015. You were like, ever since the incident in 2015, I can no longer be back there. I myself am not kicked out of any countries. I
I
can
know.
go into any country I want except for North Korea. Me and Kim Jong Un
Oh my
do not get
gosh.
along. No.
Speaking of North Korea, did you see how he wants to start doing a welcoming tourism and he's opening the beaches? What the heck?
Okay, maybe this is okay. So the other day I was on YouTube, as one does, and for some reason something came up where there was like a bus of influencers. And they all were like U.S. influencers, and they came down and they had hand holders and just to make sure that it was all the way they wanted it to be. And they were, I don't know about live streaming, but recorded, putting videos of what they found, and they had interviews, and they went into libraries and all kinds of things. And I always thought like, oh, I thought this couldn't be done, but maybe. Finally, what we've always wanted, some open borders in North Korea. Finally, I can vacation there.
Oh my gosh. I saw video or photos of King uh
King.
King Kim Jong Un like at the beaches and just inspecting him, and he looked like happy, and I don't know if that was like AI generated, but I was like, who the heck wants to go over there for vacation? Like the reputation is there. It's been done. You're a crazy place to ever even step into. Why would anyone entertain that you want to now have tourism there? It's so
Yeah,
strange.
it is very strange. Indeed, indeed. Well, what is not strange is that we are on episode 17. Okay, we've made it through 16 episodes together. We held it down, and Christine held down the chat last week while she was over on a cruise to Alaska. She saw some cool things over there, like some robot bartenders and things like that, which you
Yay.
did not have to tip, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, see, they don't say. There's just going to be a question for you on the other side of this, and if you could answer that. But we are back. We are going to talk about these topics right here to the left, right next to Christine there. Some interesting ones that are on there, so we will talk about those. Then Christine she is concerned about you retiring. Okay, if you are a millennial or even a younger generation, maybe a Gen Z. She's concerned about your retirement accounts, and she's going to talk about that. And then I am going to talk a little bit about you remember 4G, you remember 5G on your phone. I'm going to talk about 6G. Prepare your hearts for 6G, okay? Part 6 of G on your phones. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, and I'm going to talk about that in the end. If you will look in my chat, in my at Voice of DeFi account, you can find a link where you can watch us and have a chat to the side. So if you want us to shout out some question that you've got a comment on something that we're saying, make sure that you put it right there in that chat, and we'll be able to see it. Christine, what's with all the red I'm seeing on this ticker? If you'll look down right now, you can see a whole bunch of red.
I
Uh,
know.
what's the except for Spy? Spy's looking good, and it's plus 0.1%. But everything else is down. What's up? What's wrong? What'd you do?
I have no idea. I was gonna ask you what you did.
No, I did not do anything. Now Tesla is down 5%. Is that because Trump and him are fighting, and Trump said something about an EV mandate that he's going to, and subsidies that he wants to take away, and possibly deporting Elon Musk?
Did he say that?
Yeah, somebody asked him about citizenship of Elon Musk, and could he be deported? And he said, "I don't know. I'll have to look into it."
I'm sure he was joking, right? That's crazy.
He's joking till he's not joking. I mean, that would be silly. We
That
have a
would be
billionaire
silly.
in our midst, and we kick him out of the country. No, that would be silly. However, Elon did say, if you vote in the big beautiful bill, basically said if it's the last thing he does on this earth, he will make sure that you do not get you do not get to stay in Congress. So he is turned on the Republican Party, and we'll talk about that. I'm going ahead because that is in. I think that is in one of our topics here. Oh, maybe it's not. I meant to add it. Anyway, he wants to make the America Party. Oh, yeah, it is. The Porky Pig Party. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, well, let's start this thing. I've talked enough about this. Let's get this thing going. Let's start. What could we be talking about with lingerie Bitcoin? Well, the lingerie MMA League, which I was not aware of. Were you aware of the MMA Lingerie League, Christine?
No, just that NFL one that we have. What is it?
Right.
Lingerie Bowl or something?
Oh yeah, it's where they play football in
Yeah.
lingerie. This is inspired by GameStop. The lingerie fighting championship is going to invest in Bitcoin, causing their token SUBBD. Don't know what that stands for, but that sounds fun. The move has sparked discussions on the future of cryptocurrency. So, Christine, it started out with MicroStrategy, now named Strategy, and GameStop. And now, notable organizations such as the Lingerie MMA League are buying Bitcoin for their reserve. Uh, when you woke up this morning, were you thinking that, gosh, I wonder if the Lingerie MMA League is going to finally get with the times and get Bitcoin on their register? And I've answered the question. Yes, they have.
That's crazy. The more we know.
The more you know. Why are they doing that? Why was the lingerie fighting? Do you think that, okay, is it possibly because, there's the crypto bro? I don't know if crypto is a heavily male. I do. If you've been to a crypto conference, it's heavily male. And I'm going to assume that the large part of the lingerie MMA league is heavily male. Is that why they're doing this? Just so they can speak to the crypto bros?
I guess I really, if I'm trying to just think of why, I have no idea. Like, I feel that that's strange that they're building a reserve for a lingerie Bitcoin league. Like, what even is that? I almost feel like it's just some like Ponzi scheme.
Now, you've got it. Like in the future, whenever they're like, Grandma Barnum, why is the lingerie MMA league the main sporting league in this country now?
Oh
And
my gosh.
you're gonna have to say, well, they invested in Bitcoin
They made a
earlier than
good
anybody.
decision. Yeah.
Right. They made some good decisions to join in. And that's why the NFL had to fold. Or no, that's why UFC had to fold in this case, because the lingerie fighting championship were visionaries.
That is wild. Imagine that. Telling that story. That's crazy. I really feel like it's such a strange thing, but whatever.
But whatever. Yeah. There's a lot. I didn't, like I said, I knew about the football one. I did not realize about the lingerie fighting championship. But this year, whenever you're watching the Super Bowl of lingerie fighting, which is I'm sure their championship game, look for them to mention that they have Bitcoin on their reserves. I even, I have these little pictures in the upper right up by your head here. And it shows these heavily caked out women that are, I guess, about to fight. Maybe they win Bitcoin. That'd be cool. All right, next, something we've teased already: the Porky Pig Party. Elon Musk has criticized the GOP's spending package, and it says, claiming we are now a one-party country, which is what he threatened with whenever he didn't want to support Kamala and wanted to support Trump. He said, if we do not get Trump in, then we will become a one-party country. But now he says that's what we basically are, and he threatens the formation of the new America Party. So, Christine, you've got to choose some sides here. You can be Democrat, you can be Republican, or you can be a part of the American Party. What are you? What are you?
I've always felt like I never wanted to take sides. It's just, I've always felt that I sailed in the middle. So we need to see what this America Party
Okay.
is all about to have better knowledge before choosing sides. But I never like choosing sides. I always feel like the better part is somewhere in between. So
So you are of the thought that you're willing to give the America Party a chance to
sure,
see what they're about.
always.
I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say this: the Democrats definitely do not speak to me, the voice. Okay, the
We're not
Republicans,
rich enough.
correct. The Republicans probably speak more to me, but I do agree with Elon in that if we're trying to make all these cuts and then we have one of the biggest spending bills of all time, I don't like that either. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'm with you. I'm willing to see what he's got started. But is this just a party that's completely funded by Elon Musk? And if it is, I don't know that. Like the Republican Party can get donors besides Elon Musk, and they can get a lot of money put together. I don't know how well the American Party could pull together donors, right? I mean,
I
we
mean,
can't just be on Elon's back.
right. And he is the richest man in the world, right? So who knows what he has up his sleeve. I don't know how much he could speak to us as far as like creating a party and how much he actually is in touch with like, reality in the middle class and just the normal typical American working citizen. But we shall see, right? Like that's just, it's all about being open to new ideas. And then if it's not good, we're like, no, thank you. We'll just stay over here.
Let me read this quote of Elon's. It says, "It is obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party."
What the heck?
Yeah, he says it's the Porky Pig Party.
Porky
So
Pig Party.
we should rename it. Yeah, we
Yes.
should rename the Republican Party the Porky Pig. That'd be fun, right? They could have a new logo. It's no longer the elephant. It's just the
A little
Porky
pig.
Pig Party. And at the
Yeah.
end of every one of their meetings, they do the "That's all, folks." That is Porky Pig that does that, right? That's all, folks.
Yes.
No?
At the
Okay.
end.
Yeah.
No one else knows what you're talking about, but yeah.
I understand that I'm old with my Porky Pig, but I thought Porky Pig went past generations. Is that not true? Does your daughter have no clue who Porky Pig is?
I don't think she does. And then the reference that you made, like, oh, towards
That's
the
all,
end, he's
folks.
like, that's all, folks. She'd be like, what? What?
Oh,
Yeah. Because I think after Looney Tunes or whatever, after that, they tried to do like a Tiny Tunes. So if anything, that
yes.
would be more remembered, maybe, like with the younger
Okay.
generation. But I know what you're talking about.
Gosh. I'm glad you do, and we can continue this show. We will have episode
I'm so
18 by
glad.
you by
Yes,
you knowing that. All right.
absolutely.
Check this out. Texans, which I know a few Texans,
You.
they can use they can use gold, silver as legal tender. So I can go to Walmart or the gas station, and the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, has signed a law that allows Texans to use gold and silver as legal tender in day-to-day financial transactions. Now, what do you think would happen, Christine, if I go up to the gas station, okay, in really in any part of the state, and I say, I'd like $50 worth of gas, and I throw over a couple gold coins to them, and I say, keep the change. What's going to happen? And then I remind them, it's legal tender. What are they going to do?
I don't know. So it's so crazy that you brought up this story because I thought it was Florida that had announced that, and now you've corrected what my thoughts were. But
Yes.
I did think of that. Like, how do you do that? Do you carry a pouch of coins now? And then how would a cashier react? They have to all be trained over there to. How do you do that? Like, what change do you give? You just give dollar. Like, I don't know.
Let me just read some of this. Maybe it'll answer. It says the law, which takes partial effect on May 1st, 2026. So I have some time to get my gold together. And it goes into effect on September 1st of 2026. So we're more than a year away. authorizes the state comptroller's office. Dumb word, by the way. Why can't it be controller? Why is it comptroller? Anyway,
Comptroller.
the state comptroller's office to establish, oh, here we go, electronic payment systems backed by bullion stored at the Texas Bullion Depository, though it does not require vendors to accept precious metals as payment.
Okay, that
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah.
So, yes, I can have. It's almost like the original dollar, right? That was like backed by gold and then backed by silver and then backed by nothing, right? In Texas, we could have something that's backed by gold
Actual.
once again.
Yeah.
Actual gold once again.
But it's direct, like there's no third party paper. Like it's just, oh, I'm using some of my gold or silver to buy this, but electronically, so we don't have to.
But okay, so I heard people say this about Bitcoin. Aren't people going to say like, yeah, but it's so volatile. You might spend it and then it might lose money or it might gain value after that. Why are we not worried about that now?
I feel like there'd be no pushback on that just because gold and silver has always like they've created this, you know, reputation about how that's like the best thing and we used to be backed by that. Like there's never been a question about it. And then us introducing Bitcoin and crypto, they would still compare it to, you know, it could be like how we were backed by gold before. Like gold and silver have never had a bad reputation, so I think people just don't push back on it.
And this might be a gateway drug into getting people to accept Bitcoin, right? As a payment. And you could say, oh yeah, and there's the gold and silver is backed by the bullion depository, and the Bitcoin that you have is backed by the blockchain, which anybody could check online. So yeah, maybe it's a kind of a way, a foot in the door into that. All right,
Yeah, I
next
hope
up.
so. Cause real quick, I was
Okay.
thinking, would that end up being where they're kind of pushing out Bitcoin and crypto? Cause they're like, hey, look, we could just electronically use, you could electronically use your gold and silver directly. Like
Yeah.
we don't need Bitcoin or crypto. Cause that's the first reaction I had. Like, oh, does this push out crypto?
Uh, I mean, I guess, but if it's an electronic transaction that has Bitcoin, now of course it'll have a third party. It'll have a bank in the midst of things as to where Bitcoin would not. But it would get people just comfortable with making that electronic transaction. I mean, we already are with credit cards, so it wouldn't make that big of a difference.
Right.
All right. Is your tinfoil hat near you or
Always
anything?
near.
Okay, okay. It's on. I just can't see it. It's got an
Yeah.
invisibility cloak. Okay, we'll put it on for this next one. This is called motion sensors. Okay, Xfinity. I think that's Comcast.
Yeah.
They now offer for an upgrade that Xfinity has Wi-Fi motion, a feature that turns your router into motion sensors. Okay? So the router, whatever's giving your house right now internet, they can tell from the Wi-Fi signal where you're sitting in your house.
Ew. Jesus,
Yeah.
where's our like we're just not there's no privacy anymore.
It's exactly correct. Now, I think it just to be clear, it's not like it's taking like a photo picture of you. It's like a blob of where you're standing. But
Still.
it says when you're between your Wi-Fi devices, it can detect even small movements such as a hand wave. It says it's not future tech. Xfinity users can already use a router and other devices, probably like your phone or anything that's getting it. The downside, the motion is also collected and can be shared with third parties.
Of course. And you said that, oh, but it's not taking a photo or video of you, it's just knowing the motion. Okay, but we have our computers and our TVs and everything else having the video and photo with that data of, hey, I know where he or she is. She just moved her hand. Like,
Yeah.
where does this all go? Why is this being collected so much? And then, even Alexa and Google, smart homes, when you're talking to like anybody or talking on the phone, your wife, whatever, you could see the light. It's just constantly listening, and you're like, what the
Yeah.
hell? It's so weird. But why is this all being collected? Why would we need motion detectors? And I know they would disguise it as, hey, it's because, if there's ever an intruder or whatever, like we'll help you. But is this actually going to be collected for, how about hackers that just,
Yeah.
hackers are just on the way. Like, I wish I knew how to just hack as a hobby because they're probably so happy. We're just connected electronically everywhere. And the better they are, the more they have access to. And now they're going to know where you are in your house. So how about if
Yes.
like these smart techie robberies start happening or home invasions? Like, hey, she just moved to the bathroom. Like there was motion there. Just tapped into her Alexa and she's on the phone with so and so. Oh my God. Oh, let
Or
me
she's
tap
not
into the.
home. She's not
Yes.
home, so we
Yes.
can absolutely go take everything, and we don't have to
Correct.
worry. Because uh, I'm not speaking as a robber that's done this thing before, but sometimes you just wonder, is anybody home before I rob
Right.
this house?
Yeah.
Because at
Yeah.
least in Texas, you might need to worry about that.
Right.
Because we're strapped.
Here as well, in our home.
Y'all can. Oh, in your home, are y'all outside the law doing that? I don't know California laws.
So we're inside, but because the county that we live in, the sheriff here,
He's cool. He's
yeah,
cool.
he's cool. But if we were like in LA County, it's very hard. It's like years.
And if you use deadly force to protect your home, do you get in trouble?
There's some fine lines there. They had tried to pass this law a few months ago. Thank God it did not happen, where if a criminal does hurt you, you are not allowed to hurt him back. You just have to wait for law enforcement to come.
No. Here they tell you shoot first, ask questions later,
Mhm.
and yell out "Country boy can't survive" as you're shooting. Uh, yeah. So, oh man, she, she's gonna make it. She's gonna make it. Um, all right. Yeah. So. Careful out there whenever you've got those motion
Yeah.
sensors. Isn't this weird? Isn't that motion sensor? If I came to you and I was like, Christine, I really think the routers know where we're at in the house. You might have, well, you might not have, but other people might have said, Voice has lost it. He's gone schizophrenic. He's lost his mind. But it turns out I would have known exactly what I was talking about had I said something like that. Or if you said it, I would have been like, yeah, whatever, Christine. This sounds like a more likely scenario of you telling me this and me telling you, yeah, you're overreacting. But no, your router knows where you are. So, and not just
Very
because you're,
strange.
yeah,
Very
very,
strange.
very
And
weird.
then when you added the can be shared with third parties. Who? Why?
Whoever wants it can buy that information from them. They can even find patterns and be like, oh,
Yeah,
every night at 11 p.m. they're in the kitchen, or every night at
exactly.
wherever they're at this place, and
Mhm.
use that information as you will. What information? What?
Tailored to advertisement for, retail.
Yeah. For all kinds of things you could probably do. All
Oh
right,
yeah.
let's talk some rates. Jerome Powell, you ever
Hmm.
heard of him? Sorry.
Barely.
Barely. He has stated that the Fed likely would have lowered interest rates if it weren't for those pesky kids. No, if it weren't for President Trump's significant policy changes. Okay, I'm sure he's talking tariffs there, which have been shown not to affect the economy as much as everyone thought that they would. Why can't Powell get along with Trump? What's the deal there? Because they don't get along, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever have, and I didn't expect them to do so. And just because Trump is very, he's clear and concise on what he's trying to do, and if you don't work with him or do it, it's just war zone.
It definitely, I mean, we could go back to the Elon thing. I mean, if you are not with him, you're against him, that's for sure. But I may be wrong, but I believe Powell is a Trump appointee from his first term, from
Is
his
he?
2016. I believe he's a Trump appointee. But
Wow.
this is much like the Elon thing where it was good and then now it's not.
Okay.
He's not lowering
Bummer.
the rates like, yeah, Powell isn't lowering the rates like Trump wants him to. That's where this all gets down to. Because I don't know if you remember us talking earlier in the year, but the thought is that Trump was not necessarily trying to fix the economy just then at that point because he wanted those lowered rates. And he thought if we could have those lowered rates, then we can really get things moving. Well, the lowered rates haven't really happened and they still haven't happened. And so I do get to thinking we're to a point where maybe we could lower rates, but that's exactly why Powell has this comment of, well, I would have lowered rates, but if it wasn't for Trump, then I couldn't do that. So they're fighting with each other within the media.
Right.
which
Very publicly, which I sometimes wonder if this is like, I'm like, this has to be some publicity stunt because this is crazy, but guess not.
I guess not. I guess not. Are you a fragrance wearer? Are you a perfume wearer?
I am.
Okay. Whenever you are putting a tattoo on somebody, do you wear fragrance at work too?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm usually at work, so that's basically where I'd just be wearing it.
Okay. Well, soon Donald Trump is taking a break from his duties, it says, to promote a new branded fragrance line.
No.
Yes, leading to discussions about the ethics of such things while in office. So you might be able to give your next tattoo and smell like Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if that's what he's.
He's silly, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
funny.
So you thought it was crazy that he released a meme coin, but he's going to do a branded fragrance line. It says on Monday night, as Senate Republicans scrambled in search of votes to advance the GOP's. Okay, who is that? This is MSNBC. So get ready for what I'm about to say. Get ready for what I'm about to say.
I love how you read it first and you're like, okay.
Oh, you'll see why I stopped here. On Monday night, as Senate Republicans scrambled in search of votes to advance the GOP's far-right domestic policy megabill, Donald Trump was using his social media platform to issue a striking announcement. So get ready. Here comes the striking announcement. Oh, I'm not going to do this. I was going to do it in a Trump voice, but
No.
I'm working on my Trump voice, and it's not there yet.
Okay.
They're called Victory 4547 because they're all about winning, strength, and success. For men and women, Christine, so you're not left out, get yourself a bottle. And don't forget to get your loved ones too. Enjoy, have fun, and keep winning.
Oh my God. This is so funny. Like, you could take the businessman out of the business because he has to be running a country right now, but you can't take that businessman out of him at all.
That's absolutely
Ever.
right. It says Trump wrote that, what I just said in the post, included a link to buy the product. The fragrances are the latest in a series of Trump branded items he has promoted. Other ventures include the Trump meme coin. Hey, good for crypto to make it in here. Branded watches and apparel. Doesn't mention the phone that we've mentioned before.
Yeah, where's the phone?
Yes, and some of the apparel mentions the slogan Trump 2028. Okay, it looks like it does mention the phone later on in the article. So yeah, how many bottles of Trump perfume are you gonna be purchasing?
So I did not buy the phone, or like I haven't bought the phone. I did not buy the Trump coin, and I don't intend to really buy the perfume or cologne, but I am curious to smell the
Here's the thing.
perfume.
I don't know how much it cost, but I have seen you have a TikTok, you have an Instagram. Saw you at Chuck E. Cheese the other day, by the
Yeah.
way. That was an I meant to ask you about that one. But anyway, what good content would it be for you to be unwrapping your Trump fragrance and putting it on your neck and as you're at the studio, you say, "Hey, does this smell like does this smell like Donald Trump to you?" Be good
Or
content.
passing by someone and being like, "Hey, are you wearing Trump 45, 46 or whatever the heck you said?"
Yeah, 45, 47, and they're like, "I am. Thank you for noticing." Right? You could really be the envy of all of LA by smelling like Ivanka Trump. No, I
I
don't
like
know.
her. But I what a strange world we live in.
Yes. So anyway, go get yourself some fragrance from Trump. All right. That is the top stories for this week. By the way, we are very up on these stories. Last week I did, 6 or 7 stories just like this. And I swear throughout the week, I saw big accounts like Unusual Whales and big accounts like that announce some of the stories that we talked about in the week in the show before. So
No way.
yeah, whatever the algorithm I'm on to that I put together these stories, because a lot of it is I have AI go and look for these newer stories, and yeah, talk about them on here, and then they actually hit real big accounts later on in the week, and yeah, people start talking about them. So look for your favorite influencer to talk about lingerie Bitcoin, Texas gold, motion sensors. Of course, they'll talk about Powell and Trump fragrances this next week. All right, with that,
Wow.
Christine's been thinking about lots of things. She's thinking about growing old and how loved ones that she knows is growing old. Let's talk a little bit of retirement with Christine right now.
Christine's Corner, where the buzz is hot. Crypto trends or the latest pop plot. From gadgets that glow to stars in the sky. If it's on her mind, you know it's gonna fly. So plug in, tune in.
All right, Christine's Corner. So every weekend or every late weekend, I hit you with what you want to talk about, what's been on your mind. And this time, I think you were a little more concerned about the future. You believe the children are our future. What'd you come up with this week's Christine's Corner?
Yes, I do feel like this topic, even though I was like, what should I talk about? But I think this hits hard or should hit hard with everybody, especially in their 30s and anyone in their 30s and 40s, maybe even earlier if that's like, you're thinking ahead, which you should. But I took some notes here and let's go through it. So the traditional retirement model was the work 40 years, retire at 65, I'm going to retire off my social security or your pension. Okay, so only 6% of Fortune 500 companies still even offer a traditional pension.
I can't even believe it's 6%. I would
Yeah,
figure
that's
it's lower
so-
than that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the average social security benefit in 2024, what do you think it is?
Is this a dollar amount that you're
Dollar
looking for?
amount.
Oh gosh, it's not going to be much. 60,000 a person, something like that.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So the average Social Security benefit in 2024 is $1,900 a month. That equates to $23,000 a year.
Oh wow. Okay,
And
that's
that's
tough to
like-
retire on.
Right. And that's like them assuming that people could live off of $23,000 a year.
And
which
where a
is
number
ridiculous.
like that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to interrupt where you're,
No,
I know
yeah.
you're flowing, but a number like that probably would work if all your life you used your income to buy a house and then you own the house by the time you're 65, right? And now you're just using it for food and expenses and just
property
living expense-
taxes.
and property taxes, all of that. Yeah, that would probably work then. But since now there's a lot of people that are going to not have a house whenever they are to that age, that those numbers don't work.
Right. And then so millennials and Gen Z are already behind because 61% of millennials say that they've saved nothing for retirement. The median retirement savings for people aged 35 to 44 is $45,000. You would need 1.5 million to 3 million to retire comfortably. That's not living large. That's basic necessities at 65 in the US, depending on location. So that's why we're saying that the traditional retirement plans are not suitable for the future at all for anybody that's, worried about retirement. The traditional saving alone is not going to work. So let's see. The Smarter Retirement Playbook, that's what I wanted to talk about, is invest early and consistently. Good options are Roth IRAs or traditional IRAs. Because they have tax advantage growth. Max out your 401k if your employer does match it. Compound interest is king. $500 a month invested at 8% from 25 is 1.1 million by the age of 65, which we obviously know the Social Security and your pension is not going to be doing that. So you have to think about those traditional IRAs or Roth IRAs.
Let me just
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just want to pause
no, go
right there. You said the $500 a month from age 25 on. Mm-hmm. There, I'm
At
the
8%.
the amount of people that have $500 left over at the end of the month at age 25 is
0%.
yeah, something like that. Something like that.
0.05.
A very low amount because I think it is hard to be a 25-year-old person right now, and get by and have any money left over or just pay the expenses. And sometimes I see articles like this where you're like, if you just put in $700 at the end of at the first of every month, you could have X million dollars. And I'm like, yeah, but that's coming from a position of privilege to say like you could have $700 left over, in this case $500 left over at the end of every month. So while I do think all of that is
Yeah.
good, I just wonder how many young people can actually, even if they like the advice and would like to take the advice, I just wonder how many people could do it.
No, and you're so right. Like what? Like my daughter right now, she's 22. She's very good at saving, and but the thing is, the reason she's able to have extra money in her bank account, and she would be one of these people that could have that extra 500, but that's because we're helping her completely because she's, in school,
Yeah.
and she has a job, but we're still covering her gas money, her insurance, we're paying for her phone, as long as like she's making sure she's going to school, and then she has her job, her part-time job, to be able to use for her expenses that she needs, but basic necessities we're still covering. So if she were to be able to have to cover it herself, would she have that extra 500 a month? And would she be interested in actually saving for the future is the question as well. And a lot of times
Yes.
when you're young, you're like, nah, I'll wait, I'll wait, I'll wait. And then you're
For sure.
45 and you're like, God damn it.
I knew I should have listened. Well, let me throw out something else. A lot of you and I's digital social circle, okay, is crypto entrepreneurs or stock traders and things like that here on X, right? And they don't have a 401k, right? They don't have an employer that's able to contribute to that or match their 401k. So for those people, if they're a successful trader, they probably are doing well. If they're a successful trader, then they're a successful trader.
Oh,
But
yeah.
don't you think somebody, the grind it culture that are in entrepreneurship, which is great. I love entrepreneurship. I always encourage that line of thinking, but definitely it doesn't have some of these employer benefits of getting a 401k built up.
Right. It's crazy because as we shifted to that culture of entrepreneurship and gig like based
Yeah.
jobs, we've lost sight of, hey, how are we going to retire? And I think on average, a lot of people don't think about it at all till their 40s. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's not that far away. What do I do? I need to fast track this. And what happens when there's been no? So I have so many in my circle right now. We're talking about circles in my personal circle that are all gig based. And that's because
Yeah.
we're in California. And they tell me, like, man, I don't even have Social Security coming or pension or anything. I don't know what to do. I'm just saving. How much do you have? 20,000, like hopefully. What? Like, and then I tell them, hey, do like an IRA, like call,
Yeah.
this and just do an IRA, whatever. If you can't do the 500, $1,000 a month, whatever, just do anything, throw whatever at it because it's gonna be better than you saving this cash in your safe or whatever. That's not gonna work. And come up with multiple income streams. And I tried to push this often, like to a lot of my friends, like, hey, you could do this on the side, you could do this, but I do also know that it takes a lot of work and a lot
Yeah.
of people are exhausted. The economy just hasn't been what it's been for a long time, and then it's a very scary thing to think of this culture that's just gig based or just didn't think of any social security, retirement, or pensions. That wasn't going to be enough to begin with, but you won't even have that. So retirement doesn't even become like age anymore. It's just when can you stop trading your time for money? And I don't see that happening anytime unless you strike gold in one of these things that you're doing and
Right.
create multiple income streams and start your IRA and something to have things going. And it's just
Well,
so
and
bad.
I think that's probably what you see a lot of is, especially when you're young, you're very optimistic about your business leanings, right? You're like, my business is going to take off. It is going to get bought and purchased, and I am going to, I am going to be a millionaire, that sort of thing. Or if you get a crypto, somebody who's grinding in crypto, they're going to say, eventually I'm going to hit one of these meme coins, and it will be my retirement, that sort of thing. All of these things, you're just hoping that somehow you win I'm going to just say win the lottery. And I don't mean
Right.
win the lottery. I just mean, you are blessed, that something was be bestowed upon you. And I am worried that this generation, especially the younger generation, I think your gig economy thing that you brought up is a great point. How many of them that's how they make ends meet, and I don't blame them, right? I mean, this is what the economy is now, where many of them will have multiple gig-based economies. They're running Uber, they're running DoorDash, they're running all these different things, and there's nothing that's being saved for them out there. They took those extra jobs so that they could make ends meet and pay the rent, that sort of
Right.
thing.
That's all.
And yeah, it does make it. It does. I really, whenever somebody says we need to get back to what we were doing in the 50s and 60s, I think some people take offense because they think that you're talking like socially where we were in the
Right.
50s or
And
60s.
we're not. We're talking about traditional finance.
Correct. Because think about that in the 50s and 60s, as we talk about deportation and ICE and all this, our manual labor. A lot of just Americans are who did the manual labor. Whenever houses were built, it was Americans. Now, they may have come from Hispanic descent. They may have come from, all kinds of people that were in the country legally, but they were building. We built the country, right?
Right.
Now we've got a situation to where our, if you've got the society, it's like the high end that are like CEOs and entrepreneurs, and you've got another end of the economy that is people doing a little bit more manual labor. We don't have as many. You don't see a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I'm a factory worker, and by me being a factory worker, I'm able to provide for myself, my spouse, and 2 kids. That doesn't happen anymore, right?
Right.
It just does not happen anymore, and because of that, our economy, there's like a very ebb and flow to an economy, right? Where you want lower level jobs to be able to still afford a house and provide for a family. And that's gone now. And since that's gone, it makes it to retirement is certainly not, feasible with
No.
what they're making.
Yeah, I feel like a huge portion of the population, the young population right now, is not ever going to be able to fully retire. Like they're going to have to work to be able to live and afford basic necessities. And that's not okay. And like, I don't know how we got here or let this get here. But at one point, I remember, just socially or the culture just saying, hey, it's very like YOLO. You only live once. Do it
Right.
now. Put it on credit. Like travel. Do what you want now. Tell your boss F you and start that freaking job or start that business, which is all fine. But a lot of this actually hurt us in the way of no one was having a backup plan of like, hey, yeah, start that business, but don't tell your boss F you. Like, just maybe take it down a notch and do part time that, and then do this. But everyone they went all in. They put their chips all in, and then you're in your mid 40s or you're turning 50 or your 30s,
Yeah.
and you're like, wait, I messed up, and I don't know. It's really
It's
rough. It's sad.
it's a sad situation, and I would just say to anybody that is in that situation is, first of all, I think you can hear Christine and I see you. We see that it's like a tough situation. I don't necessarily have the answers for it, but I do hope that things get fixed for this, because I do not want to see an entire generation, especially, I have children. I want to see their generation be set up better for them to where they don't have to hit the lottery to be able to retire. You shouldn't have to, quote unquote, hit the life lottery to be able to retire, right? Because eventually we're going to age out, and eventually, Christine, your hands are going to get too shaky to be able to do a good tattoo or something like that. You've got to. We all have to be. We're all going to die. I don't know. Newsflash, right? And we all have to have like that plan of what's going to happen whenever we can't do that. And I think for this next generation, that may hit them really in the face really hard, really quickly, and it sucks. Well, happy birthday, everybody. Well, hope everybody's having a great summer. See, now you did it. You know how I've brought this room down so much with AI is going to kill us all. Now you've done this.
Oh, is what it is. We bring the doom and gloom.
That's right. We should have just called it doom and gloom. All right, with speaking of happy birthdays, let's bring in some birthday music. All right. I first of all don't have I didn't give you the cheat sheet, so I did not
I
give
know.
you.
I was looking for it right now.
I didn't give it to you, and if I would have, I would have tainted the list. But there's not a whole bunch of people on here that we might know. Although another person that you and I have been in the same room together as is on this list.
Oh.
Okay, he's 59 years old. I'm not going to tell you his name. I'll give you his middle name. It's Gerard. Okay, he's an American former professional boxer who competed from 1985 to 2005. He reigned as the undisputed heavyweight champion from 1997 to 1990, and he was the youngest boxer ever to win a heavyweight title at 20 years, 4 months, and 22 years old. You and I have ate sushi together with this gentleman. Kind of.
Mike
Who is
Tyson.
This? It is Mike Tyson. Happy birthday, Mike Tyson.
Happy
who is
birthday, Mike.
He's 59.
Our best
Iron
friend.
Mike. Our best friend. No, Christine and I were at an NFT convention, and we in the restaurant we were at, somebody said, is that Mike Tyson? And it sure was, and he was behind the sushi counter, and he's like got each of the sushi chefs in his arm, and he's having a good old time with them. We also saw Ric Flair that night,
Yeah.
and Serena Williams.
Yeah. What a star-studded dinner.
I know. Well, I mean, do you run into celebrities in LA? Is that do you ever just walk by and be like, "Hey, was that XYZ?"
Yeah, that's like a pretty common thing, but nobody cares.
But no, okay, because you just say, yeah. So for me, that was kind of cool because, yeah, Iron Mike does not hang around the Dallas area too often. Occasionally, you might see someone you recognize, but it's usually a sports star
Yeah.
that you see out.
Or Joe Rogan.
That's Austin. That's
Close enough.
I'm not near Austin.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
don't. All right, next one. Michael. Oh, I almost said it. Well, his first name's Michael. This is two Mikes in a row. A former competitive swimmer, the most successful and most decorated Olympian of all time with 28 medals. Also holds all-time records in Olympic gold medals at 23, and in Olympic gold medal individual events at 13. And the most Olympic medals in individual events at 16. Who am I talking about? Whose birthday is it? They are 40 today.
I don't know who.
That is Michael Phelps.
Oh,
Michael Phelps. Do you
duh.
remember him?
Yes,
Swimmer.
the swimmer that got in trouble for smoking weed or something.
He does love a bong rip every now and then. Yes, this is true. There was a picture of him taking a massive hit on a bong one time, and it didn't seem to affect his swimming. He swam very well, and not a good host on Saturday Night Live. I did not find him to be funny.
Yeah.
He's a better swimmer than he is.
True.
Speaking of famous people, I'm just going to say this one because there is zero chance you know this one, but I know this one. This is Miles Austin, a former American football player who played in the NFL for 10 seasons, primarily. I've heard of this team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Whoa, what's
Two-time, yes. Yeah. Well, who are they? Who are they? That's America's team. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's the Patriots.
No. He is 41, so happy birthday, Miles Austin.
Happy birthday, Miles.
Let's see. You tell me when you've heard of one of these people. Cheryl Cole. Nope. Age 42. Happy birthday. Lizzie
birthday.
Kaplan. Elizabeth Kaplan. American actress and model. Was on the cult television series Freaks and Geeks. Age 43. Let's see. Nope. Never heard of them. Oh, here we go. David Alan Grier, American actor
yeah.
and comedian, best known for his work on the sketch comedy series In Living Color. And that's all I'm going to say. There's other people. Did you realize there was other people that are having birthdays today?
No.
But I'm not going to say them, even if they've made this list, because I have not heard of them. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave
Who
it.
cares? Who cares?
That's right. You're right. They didn't quite make it to be important enough for that. Let me switch my lower third, because you know how I'm always like, oh, I haven't changed my lower third.
Yes.
So I'm going to do it right now. And we are going to switch to voice lessons right now
Woo.
on By the Rumor.
Voice lessons, you'll hear it loud and clear. Tech and crypto wisdom, the truth is here. Big thoughts, bold moves, cutting through the haze. When the voice speaks up, you'll be amazed. So listen up.
All right, Christine, time for voice lessons.
Yeah.
I always am looking for what am I going to talk about today. And today I somehow stumbled on that 6G is coming. Now, I can remember when 5G came out, and we were all pretty excited. Matter of fact, I remember when 3G was a thing, and then 4G, and now 5G. And 5G was really fast, and our phones could be really fast. And when you were in the studio, I know you're not maybe in completely downtown LA or anything, but even when you're in LA, is the cellular signal very good? Do you have like fast internet?
I wouldn't complain. Like nothing lags or anything. Why?
Yeah. Well, because I wonder, because sometimes when you get in very like populous areas, it's not as fast anymore. Obviously, LA being a very populous area. And I would find mine to be slower. If I'm at like a sporting event or something like that, then my phone isn't as fast as it could be. Well, what if your phone wasn't just faster? What if it could sense your environment, power on some level your devices, and track your health without you even realizing it? Okay? It's not sci-fi. That is 6G, the next level of cellular connection that is coming to a country near you as soon as 2030. Okay, so I'm just a little bit ahead of the curve here. Today I'm going to unpack what 6G really is, which companies and countries are racing for control, and how it could totally change your life, whether you want it to or not. Okay, so now I have heard some conspiracy theorists. I'm going to see if you subscribe to this one. Does 5G spread COVID?
I don't think so, but I remember the conspiracies that I was heavily reading up on, and that was when they were introducing 4G. So I am very interested in hearing on the 6G, but I
Okay.
never heard about the COVID thing.
Yeah, that was one of the things, is that you see COVID more near 5G towers. Okay, well, 6G, it's the sixth generation of wireless tech, and they're aiming, now it's still being built, like the protocol is still being built before they have to change the towers out or whatnot. They're aiming for 100 times faster speed than 5G. 100 times. That's really fast. Near zero lag and intelligent always on connectivity. Since you mentioned 4G, 4G brought us mobile video streaming. 5G brought us smart homes, Internet of Things, and even faster speeds. And 6G will allow us to have AI powered ambient connectivity and an Internet of Everything. Okay. Sub-millisecond latency, nearing real-time communication. Think about this. You could have a little robot that does surgery on people in a remote part of the country that normally is in the sticks, in the mountains, can't do anything. And the latency will be so quick and so good that a skilled surgeon could perform that surgery and have it be carried out by a robot thousands of miles away, maybe across the world even, and be able to move your hands. And when I move my hands, the robot moves its hands with zero latency on the other side of the country there. So you could even have remote surgery. Autonomous vehicles, holograms could be possible. If you're wondering, well, why isn't Star Wars and Star Trek here? Well, it's because right now we don't have the connectivity to be able to do that. 6G might be able to make that happen, where we could have holograms and, of course, immersive AR and VR, because right now we just don't have the bandwidth to do it like we want. Industry disruptions, smart cities, AI integrated networks, and then devices interacting completely without human involvement. Now, I know, Christine, you're wondering, well, Voice, what companies do I need to look into? Did you bring any tickers? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I did bring some tickers. Qualcomm will be a big part of this. They have chips, modems, and key patents. They are QCOM is their ticker. Another tiny company you might have heard of named Apple, okay, AAPL, expected to ride the 6G wave with new devices. Alphabet, Google, they'll have AI and cloud infrastructure critical to the 6G backbone. Nokia, Ericsson, Samsung, and Huawei will all be big players in 6G. Okay, now 5G triggered trade wars. We had Huawei bans, We had chip export restrictions. And, with the climate that we've got with Trump, with tariffs and everything, this could be even a bigger deal. Granted, Trump won't be president in 2030, but one of his people may be. 6G is seen in national security, economic, and even military priority. Okay, because imagine we've already got drones that can bomb things. 6G will only be able to help that. Whoever leads control for 6G will control the infrastructure for AI, defense, and complete global data flow. Okay, which I think is interesting. Impact on daily life, smart clothing, AI assistance, even more everywhere than what it already is. Hyper personalized services, and we've already talked about this, privacy erosions.
Right.
Your devices, your home, even your body could be tracked. Okay, could be tracked. 6G could also be embedded. Avoiding it may be completely impossible. Okay. One thing that 6G can do is get power from ambient energy that is around, just electromagnetic energy that's around. Well, think about this. You could have contact lenses that are smart contact lenses, right? That have 6G connectivity that don't use a battery. It uses just the energy that's around us, the electromagnetic field that's around us. Kind of like, what toothbrush do you use? Do you use like a Sonicare or anything like that?
I forgot the brand, but it's like the one that's pretty popular and they sell everywhere.
Does it wirelessly charge, or do you have to plug it in?
It's a battery.
Okay, so you actually put in a like a Duracell into it. Okay, well mine is a Sonicare, and I just put it in like a cup, and it will wirelessly charge it from this cup. The cup's plugged in, but the toothbrush isn't.
Okay.
But it's wireless. But this is the same type of thing, but could be done literally in contact lenses. You and I talked about smart tattoos the other day.
Yeah.
This could be done with them, where they could actually be powered with what's around. That would be interesting. Okay. So from an investment angle, chip makers, infrastructure stocks are really poised to benefit. And then the job market, cybersecurity, AI, and telecom jobs could surge because of this. The old infrastructure becomes completely obsolete. Okay. Where do we look at from here? I already mentioned the stock tickers want to look at. China has launched an experimental 6G satellite, and they did that in the year 2020, if you don't think they're ahead of us a little bit. Yeah, they've already done that. There are already speculation about brain-computer interfaces integrating with 6G networks. I guarantee you Elon knows about this, because for Neuralink, this could really be big, where you could have the Neuralink actually have 6G connectivity, okay? Where I might be walking around and saying, I'm sorry, Christine, I don't have enough bars right now to think properly.
Oh, my God.
Right. All right. So, in the end, 6G is coming. 2030, 2031, sometime around then. 6G can't wirelessly charge your phone, laptop, or anything power hungry across the room, but it will be able to do small things. The energy levels for that are just, it'd be far beyond safe or anything like that. So this isn't just about faster downloads. It includes devices so low power that they could run on ambient signals alone, sensors or implants that never need charging, powered by invisible energy all around us. So remember this conversation, okay? Whenever we're on Buy the Rumor episode, 400.
200.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever we're on then, just remember, you've heard about 6G first here, and it will change the game quite a bit. Also, I don't know that we can quite comprehend how good technology will be by the year 2030, because I think AI is throwing gas on the fire of how fast technology is building, but we still have to have an infrastructure to be able to do that. So infrastructure like towers and things like that to be able to run all this. But by the year 2030, things are going to way change. I think we should keep an eye on this for an investment opportunity, because I think some of these companies there will be companies that will do very good in the 6G world. And you and I and anybody listening should pay attention to that to see if there's an investment opportunity there.
Absolutely. And there always is money to be made, even though it sounds so dire, or where I'm like, the world looks like it's going to end. There's always money to be made, either extreme.
You know, when you were talking about your segment where you're talking about retirement and you were talking about how bad it is for that generation and everything like that, I couldn't help but to think it's even worse than you're saying it is because of AI. But I kept my mouth shut and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. But I was thinking that it still could be worse than we even think that it is.
Yeah, it
for
could
sure.
be because maybe it's retirement is completely eliminated. Like saving for retirement is completely eliminated because AI, it takes a turn and it's like because AI took all our jobs and it's
Jobs.
doing everything for us. So of course we have no retirement. So maybe it takes a turn like that.
Maybe, but how am I going to afford my Tesla robot to be inside my house and fold all my clothes and do all those cool things if I don't have a good retirement account to buy one of those for me? Or is the government going to buy one for me?
I think the government would buy it for us.
I don't think Trump is wanting to buy a Tesla-made product right now. He's not.
I know.
He's not getting along with Senor Musk. Well, that's all I've got for 6G. Christine, I'm so glad you're back. I will be back next week, but the following week after that, I'll be out. Maybe we'll have a pre-recorded episode
Okay,
or something
that's
like
fine.
that. We'll see what we can do then. Glad you're back. Were you glad to be back, or is this one of the things where you wish you could have stayed on that boat for a long, long time?
As you know, but maybe others don't, our cat passed away during the time we were gone for 7 days. So I'm kind of traumatized on that end, and I was eager to get back just to like get everything, situated and actually grieve the cat being gone. But so I'm happy to be back, but am I excited to maybe take another cruise adventure in the future? I will. And by the way, if you guys have never tried cruises, I was very much a crap talker about it without ever taking one, and people said that I'm not allowed to do that. So, which I did go on one, the Alaska one, and it was amazing, and I do look forward to going on another one.
What about seasickness? Was that ever a thing?
So I did start feeling the sway when it took off the next day after that, but I did bring Dramamine with me and then these like pressure point bracelets or something.
Okay,
And I believe
okay.
that helped. I did see people on the ship with like pressure point stickers behind their ear. I don't know what that is, but I was
It's
like,
not
oh,
a
maybe
pressure
that.
point.
What is that?
It's called scopolamine, and it's a sorry, it's kind of like Dramamine, but it's a patch that slowly goes into your bloodstream from behind the ear.
Is that
Yeah.
better, you think, than me taking the whatever
It's
three?
better than Dramamine. First
Okay.
of all, it's maybe a little bit better of a drug, but since it's a patch, and as you see, very tiny, it slowly goes into your system over time. And those people change out their patches a few times during their trip.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
do
that's
that
about it.
next time. And do you have any cruise history and
I
tips?
do
Or
not. I do
you
not.
gotta go. There's a bunch that leave out of Texas, right?
Yes, 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 there are. I would be interested. I would be interested.
You
Unfortunately,
must try.
I will someday, but I'm going to be much older than I am now because
Why?
I got these young kids.
Okay,
And
you can take them. There's a bunch of kids, and there's so many things to do on there for them.
maybe. You tell me this: the things that you enjoyed, that you really enjoyed as an adult, could you have done those things with little ones?
Yes,
Think so? Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
Promise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I see the commercials for the Disney cruise, and it does look pretty awesome. I
Right?
will admit, it looks like they're having a good time.
Yeah,
But
I have to say, you have to try it because I was very much like, okay, fine, you guys, I will go, but I know I'm still gonna hate it. Like, but because that's a fair like assessment. I cannot talk crap about these unless I go. And they were like, okay, but promise that you have to take a good one. You can't just take some 2 day, 3 day one out of California, which goes to like Ensenada, Mexico. And they already knew that I'd be like, I don't care. I guess it's a crappy one. So
Right.
they're like, you have to pick a good one. We picked Alaska. We flew out of Seattle, and it was amazing. And I really think now I must push you to do it.
well, I think if I were to do one, I probably would fly to a different location than to leave from Texas. Yeah, the Gulf of I don't want to leave from the Gulf of America, Christine. I would probably fly to somewhere like you did, go to Seattle or something like that before I leave. Because for one thing, yeah, at least from Texas is huge, and where I'm located is nowhere near the coast. So
Right.
Yeah, I probably would fly just like you did. Did you fly to Seattle?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what I would do too. So I'm interested. I hope to do that someday. I don't know when that will happen. I've got so much sports and things like that going on with my kids that and that's what I did all weekend while you were grieving a cat as you came back. I was in almost 100-degree heat in the full sun all day, dealing with baseball. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's fun though.
Well, there's always like 3-day ones that you could do on their like dead period or something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. All right. Well, that is all that Christine and I have to give to you today. We will be back next Tuesday for episode 18 of By the Rumor. Excited to do that one with you as well. Until then, enjoy this outro. And also, share this out whenever we get through. People like to watch the replay on these if they can't listen live. And sometimes they forget that it's there. If you share it out, it'll help out that algorithm and help people see that it is here. Till then, we are done. Till next time, peace.
Chasing the thrill of the digital hive. Stocks attacking a renegade code. This is the path where the bold explode. Behind the charts, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto stocks to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the roar, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the rumor where the silence screams, in a world of risks and electric dreams. Take on the future, take the ride. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Charts don't lie, but the faces do. Watch the market sway like it's testing you. The gossip's currency, it's hard to ignore. Behind locked doors lies so much more.